Hello, it's Mrs. Glasson. Just a quick word before the introductory video starts. I originally made that video before the foundation course was up and running. Since it has been up and running, it's been very successful and I've received quite a few positive reviews. In fact, I've only received positive reviews, which are on my website. So do have a look at the testimonials. I'll mention them in a second. But one of the things that I wanted to clarify is that my foundation course is in no way a substitute for live online tuition. It's actually a prerequisite. So the whole point is that it supplements and supports your child's 11 plus English tuition. Now, it came about because as a live online tutor, I would obviously start tutoring children from all over the country. As you've seen, my 11 plus students are successful everywhere. And so they would come from lots of different schools and lots of different educational experiences. And even though they should be at a similar level in terms of what they have been taught by the time they're in year 4 and 5, practically that is not the case. So I would frequently pick up children who had a great disparity in their knowledge and subsequently in their skills. So my foundation course came about as a prerequisite for my own live lessons, so that I could be sure that everybody had been taught correctly because I taught them myself, and also that everybody was given the same chance. So everybody was given the 10 lessons and they had the same opportunities to succeed. So by the time they came to me, they had at least been given the opportunity to learn the basic structures. And also they would come to me confident and they would come to me switched on. So that's how it came about. And so that's why I would say if it's a prerequisite for my lessons, and I'm very, very pleased with it, then it's certainly a prerequisite for all live online tuition. So at least you can be sure that a qualified expert, that's me, with many years of English teaching experience has actually taught your children. So the video is about to start. However, just to come back to what I said at the beginning, I've received only praise for the foundation course and only praise for the free lessons, which hopefully you have already tried. So what I would like to say is that people say things, and again, the actual testimonials are on the site. Well, they should be once the site is up and running. It's kind of under construction at the moment. Things like, my child has been impressing his teachers. My child has been praised for his or her use of vocabulary, which I really like. So this whole idea, what I teach doesn't just help with the learning of 11 plus structures, but it helps at school as well. It's all, wherever English is being taught and your child learns English, what I teach is going to be helping them. And you can probably remember what this was like. I can remember it. When you're at school and you're praised by somebody, by your teachers, or imagine if your child goes to tuition elsewhere and they have a grasp of these amazing words and they already know what possessive adjectives and determiners are. It's going to make them more confident. And when students are confident, they're much more switched on and they begin to relax and enjoy their lessons. They begin to relax and enjoy my wonderful subject, and you know how keen I am on that. The other thing also, parents have said, gosh, it's like going back to school for me. And a parent said, I used some of your words when I was writing a work email. My colleagues were very impressed. So this whole idea about a shared ethos of learning, which is so important, it's the home ethos, it's the home attitude to learning that influences students and their well, their development, I suppose, and also just their attitude towards learning. And I come from a home where there was a very positive attitude towards learning. My parents loved education. My parents understood, as immigrants, particularly, and I wasn't born in this country, I was born in India, the value of education, that it's a means to an end. And part of my childhood was sitting with my parents, sitting and reading the newspaper with my dad and reading books with my mother. And so this whole idea of the shared ethos of learning in the home environment, I love the fact, and I don't think I actually thought about this when I was recording the lessons, I love the fact that that's going to contribute to your shared ethos of learning, that you're going to learn together. Somebody even said that there was a real buzz about English in their house after they sat down and started doing the foundation course together. You don't have to sit down with your parents, but at least you'll be, you don't have to sit down with your children, I should say, but at least you will be aware of what they're learning and you'll be able to encourage them, which is so important. So hopefully you will be enjoying the foundation course. Do get in touch if you have any questions. I think it says that in the longer video. And I hope also that I'm going to be encouraging your child with my enthusiasm for this wonderful subject of mine, English, because it's not just about learning things, it's about life. Thank you. Hello, it's Mrs. Glasson. Welcome to the 11 Plus Foundation course. I'm sure you know something about me already, but just to reiterate, I've been an English teacher for 30 years. I've worked in the independent, comprehensive and grammar sectors, and I'm a very enthusiastic English teacher. So with me, you can be assured that you have an expert to navigate you along the exciting path of the 11 Plus English journey. Furthermore, I'm convinced that my 11 Plus Foundation course gives your child the best possible chance of success in 11 Plus English. The course is based on my experience of teaching English in the last 30 years and also on my experience as an online tutor. And to be honest, the course is not particularly different from my live teaching. In fact, it is remarkably similar in that all of the learning points are exactly the same. Where it does differ, however, is that your child can take the learning at their own pace. They can pause me, they can go back, they can watch previous lessons. So really, it's an ideal way to enjoy my teaching. I've always taught at quite a high level, and one of the issues that some of my live students have is that they cannot keep up. This is why I would start with 10 or 11 students, and after a few lessons, those students would diminish down to about 7 or 8. However, for your children, there is no such issue. They can take the lessons at their own pace. So my lessons are absolutely ideal for a child who really wants to learn a lot and is really, really keen on learning about comprehension, vocabulary, and of course, creative writing. And they will, of course, learn lots and lots of fantastic vocabulary. So, how is it different? Well, first of all, your involvement. Now, as many of you know, because you've read my testimonials, I have a strong partnership with parents. Thank you for your support at home is something that I have written on my school reports for the past 30 years. And also, with my 11 Plus students, I'm frequently in contact with parents and they are aware of what I'm teaching. So that's exactly the same with you. However, you will be sent after each lesson an email which gives you the test answers. So you have to mark those tests, and I've made it very, very easy for you, and you can then keep your child's scores. The other thing, before each lesson, you will notice a pre-lesson research task. That's very important. And again, it's not anything that's new to my teaching. This is what's known as flipped learning. Ofsted really likes this form of learning. You can Google it on the internet. So basically, as with all of my previous students do research before the lesson into the different learning points, and they come to my lessons enthusiastic and informed. They feel empowered and confident. They're already invested in the learning, so that I can then consolidate and extend the learning that has already taken place. It's a great way of teaching, and I've been doing this for a long time. The difference is that your children have wonderful pre-lesson task sheets which they need to fill out and which you actually need to print off. Whereas with my live students, I would just email something like, do some research into this. And my live students who are part of my sample group were actually very jealous of the worksheets that I have made for your children. So basically, before each lesson, print off the pre-lesson task and make sure your child does that. It's very easy. It's all research on the internet. And the other thing, after each lesson, you will be sent the test email and an outline of the learning that has taken place in that lesson and the learning that will take place next lesson. And that's exactly the same in terms of keeping in touch with my parents previously in my tuition. So that kind of tells you how you need to get organised. The other thing also, as far as resources for your child, please can you equip your child with a folder? It's very important. It's just like any class I've ever taught. Your children need to keep their worksheets, the lesson notes, which I'll give them, every lesson in a folder. They need to refer to it. It's a course. My year 6 students, who are very excited because they've just got into wonderful grammar schools, they said that they looked back at their folders and they used their folders and all the work in it for revision. So please, a folder to keep their work nice and organised, and also something to write with, obviously. I will supply the other worksheets, etc. Also, can you please ensure that they have a nice, quiet place where they can focus on their learning? I teach my online lessons just like I'm teaching in a classroom in terms of the quality of the teaching, but my expectation is that the students will have an environment that is conducive to learning. So please can you help your child with that? Finally, with regards to the lessons and the access, obviously, usually with my lessons, the lesson takes place and it's gone. However, that's not the case with your children. So the 2 free lessons, the access for those is 48 hours. So you've got a couple of days to actually view those lessons. For the 10 lessons, which comprise the Unit 1 of the 11 Plus Foundation course, you have access to those for 15 weeks. So it's not just an hour and 15 minutes and it's all gone like my current students. You have access for 15 weeks. So please use that access. Now, they are designed just like my online lessons to be taken weekly. And the vocabulary and the learning points, which are exactly the same as my live lessons, your child needs 1 week to learn that vocabulary. At least that's what I have planned for. But that's not to say your child can't review those lessons, go over certain learning points, pause, etc., etc. So it really is, as far as my teaching is concerned, it's the ideal way of learning. Okay, well, I think that's covered everything for now. But if you think of something, then please do get in touch. So that's what I needed to talk to you about, how you can contact me. So you can contact me by WhatsApp. The number is on my Facebook page and on my website. You can also call me. The number's there, as I said. or you can contact me by email at tuition@mrsglasson.com. My Facebook page also obviously has a messenger section where you can send me a message there. But please do get in touch if you have any questions about lessons or future English learning, anything to do with my wonderful subject. I'm very, very happy to talk to you about. Oh, the other thing also on that subject, when you enroll for the foundation course, you will be given the opportunity to have a Zoom session, a live online Zoom session with me, in which you can ask me any questions that you may have. And also, something I'm very keen on, I would also like to give you some advice on English study methods and materials. So there's study methods and materials that draw upon my experience as an 11 plus child a long time ago, as somebody who has been an 11 plus parent. As you probably know, he's in many of my adverts. My son is a very successful grammar school student. They also draw upon my experience, my wealth of experience as an English teacher in the private, comprehensive and grammar sectors, and my experience as an 11 plus tutor. So please do get in touch by phone or by WhatsApp. Please do get in touch by email or the other methods that I have outlined to you. But also, don't think that once you've enrolled on the foundation course, you're there on your own. That is not the case at all. I'm very much keen to get involved, and certainly from the outset to advise you on study methods and materials, and of course on reading. So please do get in touch. I look forward to meeting you. My YouTube channel should be up and running soon. I only put a few videos on there earlier last year, but I'd like to really get that going and have lots of different features on vocabulary and grammar and creative writing. So please do subscribe to my channel and follow me on social media. It's always a pleasure to get in touch and to talk to you about my wonderful subject of English. So I've also made an introductory video for your children, which you're welcome to watch, but please do make sure that your children watch the introductory video to the foundation course. And if perchance you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't enrolled for the foundation course yet, do find out more about my pre-recorded courses by going to www.mrsglasson.com. Again, that's going to be up and running fairly soon, and hopefully by the time you watch this. And also, if you have any questions about English, then do get in touch. It will be my pleasure to answer them. Thank you very much. Enjoy.